about the divine plan. So please.
Any? All right, good evening, everybody. It's good to be here, to see you all. Let me just grab the, here, okay. All right, so we're gonna be talking about divine plan. Let me show you my bibliography first before I start speaking. So these are the references that I have consulted to bring this study for you tonight. And in this moment where everybody, or a lot of people, let's say not everybody, everybody would be a generalization, where a lot of people are searching for answers and searching within themselves, what's the best path to follow. I would like to start with 3 questions so we can focus on the topic. The first question is, do you think that you have a divine plan to follow on earth? So think about it. And if you do you know what it is? And do you think God has a plan for each one of us or for the planet? So from time to time, we ask for proof that there is a deity, a God, a divine plan. And when we look upon, those that are seeking, know that there is a lot of evidence that there is a God, that there is a divine plan that needs to be fulfilled on earth, in the universe. So in general, people are always searching for something. And they're searching to be happy. But happiness differs for each one of us. Not all of us have the same concept of what happiness is. And then we search for different things. But mostly people want love. Most people crave for happiness and they look for completeness. And we're constantly seeking to the point that one day we have to sit with ourselves and look inside of us. So that moment will come where I will question myself, why? Why am I here? Why are we here? What is the purpose of all of this? So in truth, there is so much evidence of why we're here, but we choose not to see it. We choose not to look to the right way where the answers are. And we keep following our way of being, our way of living, and so on and so forth. So there is something called background of obviousness. And that says that from time to time we ask for proof that there is a divine plan for life. But when we look upon the evidence all around us in our everyday lives, we seldom consider it to be evidence. And then Werner Erhard, considered a leading thinker in academic and corporate community, says that we take for granted some of the most profound circumstances in life. So what he says here is that if I look at the ocean and I cannot see the beauty of the creation, I'm not seeing evidence. If I wake up every morning and I'm healthy, alive, and kicking, that means there is evidence that there is life, that there is a plan, that I need to do something. And there is a purpose for us to be here. So in addition to that, in the Spiritist book, Kardec brings the following when he talks about creation in chapter 3. He says, the universe comprises an infinite number of worlds that we see and even those we do not see. In addition to all animate and inanimate beings, all the stars that revolve in space and all energy that fills that space. So the evidence that surrounds us a lot of time is not enough proof that there is a divine plan. And he continues on question 115, and he says, he asks the spirits, are some spirits created good and others bad? And then the spirits respond, God created all spirits simple and unaware, meaning lack all knowledge. God has given them each a particular mission to enlighten them and help them gradually reach perfection through knowledge of the truth and rise closer to Him. In that perfection, they will find eternal bliss without any troubles. So when we read that, here is a clue. And I don't know if you can notice when you read it, there is a clue of why we were created. But let's continue. In the Genesis, he brings the following. What happens after we are created? Progress is the normal condition of spiritual beings, and the relative perfection the object to which they must attain. So, it says that we need to attain a degree of perfection, okay, through our personal efforts. Then, according to the Spiritist books and to the Genesis, so God created us simple and ignorant, and that we have to perfect. So, also, Apostle Paul brings to us that we evolve from the mineral to the plant to the animals and then to humans. So we see the evolution in steps, okay? So if we look around, we see that everything has a purpose. We see that the plants have a purpose, the minerals have a purpose, the animals have a purpose. Therefore, we do have a purpose. Therefore, there is a divine plan to be fulfilled. So, in Joana de Angelis through Divaldo Franco, in this book, which is Love as a Solution, she says, we live in a universe that constantly renews itself. Nothing is set stable, permanent. Life is a constant renovation. So if life is a constant renovation, nothing is stable. So what did God plan for us? What did He plan for His marvelous creation? And the answer is evolution. Evolution is the purpose. We're here to evolve. We're here to expand our consciousness. We're here to become better spirits. That's the plan. Okay? And this process is something that if we are aware of it or if we're not aware of it, it's happening. If we want it or if we don't want it, it's going to happen. Okay? So the law of evolution is the development to perfection. That's what it is. So all of the research that we've seen in memory regression demonstrates that the evolution takes place through several lifetimes, several and successive lifetimes. That's how evolution takes place. And we are invited to achieve this perfection. We are invited. We're not forced to. And each one of us has their own time. if I'm not able to evolve during this incarnation and I want to stagnate, I'll be here and I'll have time. I'll have next incarnation to do that. Is that going to be in this planet? Maybe. It could be in a different planet, because as we evolve, planet Earth also evolves. And if we're not compatible energetically to be here, we'll have to move to a different place. Right? So this personality that we have now is transitory. We're just here in a brief passage through this life, learning lessons, growing, expanding, to go back to the spiritual plane, maybe more evolved if we choose so. So what direction did our evolution take? Oops, sorry, too fast. Okay, so Manuel Filomeno de Miranda is spirit through the Divaldo Franco in his book Planetary Transition, and I'm sorry I don't have the picture in English, but it's called Planetary Transition, says, nevertheless, the broadest development occurred in the intelligent area and not in the feelings, sentiments, explaining the current stage of evolution, in which we are very rich in knowledge, but poor in spiritual growth. So individually and collectively, we have lost closeness and the closer contact to one another. So we became individualist beings, and we are more worried about acquiring material things than being and becoming. So that's what they call the fall of the angels. So the evolution that God planned for us is only of material stature? Is it only the physics like Darwin suspected? No. So why don't we evolve in our feelings? Why don't we evolve in love, in generosity, in compassion? Why is it so difficult to see that we need to evolve our feelings? So what kind of evolution are we following? And why are we so disconnected? Not only from each other, but we are disconnected from ourselves, from the beings who we truly are. We are disconnected. And this disconnection is blocking not only our development, but the development of society and all. So evolution, is it evolution equals to material progress? Is evolution equal to scientific progress? This button is going too fast, or my finger is. And is evolution equals to technological progress? So for all of many years, the spirits became sick, and they lost the sensibility with dealing with others. We are in a society now that is just me. And everybody is sensitive to everything. Instead of looking at themselves and seeing, where is my responsibility here? When am I gonna grow? Instead of blaming others for the things that I have to do to develop my inner self. So when God created us, He created us as a spark of His divinity, so we could shine, and we could follow the path of evolution and ascent. So what did we do? We got stuck in the wheel of reincarnations. Reincarnation after reincarnation, and we can't get there because we're so stubborn. So it's about time we woke up. It's about time that we think, not think, but feel, because thinking is automatic. We're always thinking. But feel. Feel with our hearts. And then open our hearts to our spiritual guides, to our spiritual mentors, and ask them to help us to evolve. Ask them to guide us to the right path. Because this body here is temporary. It's not going to last forever. But my spirit will live. And that's the one I have to take care of. I have to take care of my spirit. So here we see how we have evolved according to science. So the divine plan for life carries on and continue to evolve in the spiritual plane. So after we live this life, we're going to continue evolving up there. But it's here on earth that we evolve the most, because we have challenges, we have different experiences, and we have to cope with all of this. So we have to connect ourselves with our inner wisdom, because we all have an inner wisdom. We're just disconnected. And then we have to look for the answers. We have to look for inspirations that come from within us. So we have evolved, yes, in a lot of ways. Okay? But I still believe we have a long way to go in evolutionary terms. And I say this for two reasons. Okay? First, because our species, in terms of behavior is atrocious. We kill people, we have wars, we kill animals, we hate each other, we create bad situations in our lives. We do not live in peace. Sometimes not even inside our families, we live in peace. And then we are we are the cause of all of the problems. Secondly, we evolved technologically, but we didn't evolve in our sentiments. We didn't evolve our emotions. We don't even know what we really truly want. And that's a problem. So we do not have the knowledge of ourselves. So if I know thyself, then I know what I want. If I know thyself, then I know what path I have to follow. But if I don't even know myself, how am I going to continue? Am I going to be a follower? Or am I going to be a leader? Am I going to command my own life? Or am I going to follow whatever people tell me to do? The answers are within us. And Silver Birch, he's an American Indian spirit. And he used to communicate through a medium called Maurice Bobonel. And he says, life, because it is life, cannot ever be static, for that way lies stagnation. Life is rhythm, emotion, progress, unfoldment, development, the reaching out towards perfection all the time. So as you can see, we have people coming and bringing these messages to us. But how many of us apply this knowledge to our daily lives. You know, it is beautiful to come here. We have free lectures, we have free treatment, we have free courses, we have free everything. But how many of us are really taking this knowledge and applying to our lives? How many of us know what to do? Because yes, there is a divine plan, which is evolution. But each one of us inside this divine plan has a role to play. And if we do not play our role, the play is not going to be complete. Oops. Okay. So Kardec, again, brings that Earth is nothing more than a school, which we go through each reincarnation, being like a grade. Many times we don't pass, but we aren't going to fail either. We just remain on a particular level without progressing. In time, we begin to progress at our own speed. So there are many levels and stages of evolution. And each one of us is in a different level, in a different stage, but we are all playing together in the same play. So, our ascension to higher planes depends on us, on how we evolve and how we play our roles while incarnated here on Earth. So, if we are to get there, then we need to play well. So the reason why we exist is to evolve. And that's the purpose why we were born. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So, of course, for all of that to happen, we have to change inwardly. The external is just where we are, and it's the means through which we're going to reach what we have to do, to which we're going to follow our path. So Emmanuel, on the pathway to the light, okay, Emmanuel is the spirit. He says that there is a program called Christ's Program of Progressive Revelations, okay? And that according to this program, we have seen many masters reincarnating here on Earth to boost the progress of humanity, okay? So like I said before, these messages have been coming to us, okay? And now Emmanuel tells us that there is this program of progressive revelations. So, and then I think about when I first went to a spiritist center, when I became a spiritist per se. And I look back and I see that the comprehension that I had at that time is much different than the comprehension that I have now. And even like being a spiritist for so many years, as we evolve, as the world progresses, the ideas change. So the revelations are coming to us little by little. Why? Because they have to give us the amount of knowledge that we are able to comprehend. And believe me, and I believe it, there is so much more to know. There is so much more that we do not comprehend. And just the fact that we are incarnated in a third dimension planet tells a lot. It says a lot about us, It says a lot about the stage and the level that we are in. Don't we think that because we are here that we are angels? We are not, on the contrary. That's why we're here, because we need to learn. Okay. So let's see some of these masters, okay? We had Lao Tse in the 6th century in China. He brought the Tao or Taoism, which is a doctrine. And then we had Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha, that created the Buddhism in India. And we had Zoroaster, which was the first theologian of modern times in Persia. So all of these people, they brought their philosophies and they brought betterment to the society. Each one of them had a view according to their time. And then we had Socrates in Greece that told us that true wisdom consists in admitting our own ignorance and that it is prudent to know that we know nothing, therefore we do not need to be clinging to concepts. See how important, we do not need to be clinging to concepts because concepts change. Paradigms change. But our society has been stuck in certain paradigms, especially in science. We still work on the Newtonian paradigm instead of considering all of the, forgot the name of the science, the quantum physics that's being developed. And then Jesus in Galilee left us 5 revelations. The first one is God, which is the Father. The second one is love one another. The third one, there are many mentions in the Father's house. Number 4, he is a representative of the celestial hierarchy and promise of his return. So, Jesus also said that he would send a spirit of consolation that would explain things better to us. And Spiritism is considered to be this revelation. Okay. One of the things that we have also to notice is that after the persecution of the Christians, the Roman Empire took to themselves the teachings of Jesus. Okay? They took it as their own. So they collected, out of hundreds and hundreds of books, they picked 46 to create the so-called Bible. So you see, a lot of knowledge was lost, and a lot of knowledge was thrown away. Even the concept of reincarnation that was in the Bible, in the writings, in the books at the beginning, is not in the Bible because it was not convenient to the church. But what happened? So the clergy took over all of Jesus' teachings and compiled their own Bible and gave it to the people. Here is the truth. And all of us, we need some kind of spiritual support. And that was religion. Religion was the support. And people believed everything the church was saying. So, and that created that halt to the society, the development of the society because of that. And with that, we were stagnated for 1,000 years. So imagine what it does for society to be stagnated for 1,000 years. That's a lot of time wasted. 1,000 years without evolution of consciousness, all in the name of the church self-interest. So religions in the world completely distorted what Jesus came to bring us. So what are we really seeking? Happiness, love, peace, prosperity in all aspects of our lives? Do you think that all of these aspects, love, happiness, prosperity, are within us? I think so too. And they are called divine qualities. What we are searching for is nothing more than the virtues that are written in our consciousness. In our subconscious mind, better saying. What do we have to do? We have to bring this up to our conscious mind so we can develop them. And once we develop them, we'll feel better with ourselves. We'll create a better community, a better society, and we'll live in peace, harmoniously. So, where do we need to evolve? In what aspect? So, I already told you that we need to develop our virtues, okay? But we also need to develop our perceptions. Before we find the virtues, we need to develop our perceptions, our feelings, our thoughts. We need to have better thoughts. And I know it's hard being on a planet in the third dimension with so much bad vibration in the air. We end up connecting with all of it. But we have to be strong. We have to search for help. We have to call our mentors, our guides, and ask for help. So we need to develop physically, yes. Physically, because when we reincarnate again, we'll probably, if we evolve, we probably won't be in a body like this, in a heavy body, mostly made of carbon. We're going to be in a more subtle embodiment. And we need to evolve spiritually. Okay? Some people are even afraid of saying the word God, or I believe in God. I believe that there is something out there. Some people don't even talk about it, like they're matter. We're not matter. We're spirits. We're just in this body. What do we believe in, really? Do we believe that we are much more than higher animals and that we are not alone in the universe? Do we believe that we are here for reasons that we have nothing to do with chance? Do we believe that we continue to exist in some form after death? Do we believe that the physical reality is just part of a much greater reality and that we have yet to experience? Oops, sorry. And do we believe that the universe is packed with intrinsic meaning? So, if we do believe in all of this or in some of this, then our values and our behavior have to reflect it. Okay? So we have to cease to be the main cause of problems on Earth, because we are. It's not the animals. They are not the main cause. It's not nature, because nature is just following the energy that we are creating here. Okay? So if we follow that, then yes, we're going to be more engaged, and we're going to be more conscious, we're going to be more aware and more connected with ourselves, with our divinity, and with God. And for that, we have to have a set of beliefs, but not beliefs that makes us stuck, but beliefs that change with time, because beliefs also change. So to start with a set of beliefs that support and facilitates our future evolution would be a great step forward. First of all, believe that we are here, we have a divine plan, we are not this body, we are spirits. That's a set of beliefs. We can start with that, and then we evolve from there. Second of all, desire and willpower. Nothing happens if we do not have the willpower, if we do not desire that it happens. I may wish upon a star and don't do anything. So we need to add another component, the desire to do it. And third, effort to work. We would need to put the work of shaping our evolution right at the heart of our lives. It would become, if you like, our new central purpose. Nothing happens without effort. If we sit and wait, it's not going to happen. So these 3 steps are important. Then Stephen Bacall, he is the founder of the Golden Age of Gaia. I don't know if you know the channel. Okay, so he brings this idea here. The divine plan is for God to realize God by making himself manifest in the world as us, his children, who rise by gradual steps from a place of unconscious awareness of our identity as him to conscious awareness through enlightenment. So God manifests himself through us. But if we do not allow it, how is he going to do that? So we have to enlighten ourselves. So how can we live this incarnation well? How can we accomplish our divine plan? According to Joanna de Angelis in her book Love as a Solution, spiritual ascension is a result of the efforts that one undertakes in favor of his moral transformation towards the acquisition of knowledge that frees us, as well as the practice of dignifying actions. So here she's confirming to us, okay, once more that we need to make efforts to transform us, okay, towards the acquisition of knowledge and also moral transformation. So, and for that, we need to extinguish fear. We need to break the paradigms of limiting beliefs. We need to work and effort relentlessly and pursue what is needed to achieve the knowledge that comes from light, not any knowledge. Experience duality to grow, to learn how to seek light. So that's why we're here. We're in a dual plan. That's why we have good and bad. So we can experience all of this, you know, and follow our hearts and do what's best. And then live life seeking to understand the full spectrum of the same. So if I'm in fear, fear paralyzes me and I get stuck and I don't go anywhere. Okay? So the only one that should guide us is our consciousness, our divine presence in us. That's the one that should guide us, not our ego. And the ego has a purpose. Yes, it does. But the ego has to be at the service of the self, not the opposite. Okay? So, we have to remember that we are multidimensional beings. Look how beautiful that is, multidimensional beings. Every time I think about this word, I think about the universe. I think about everything that is out there and all of the possibilities that we can experience and all of the lives that we may have. It's so beautiful, and that's why I love fiction. I love fiction movies. They're amazing. I dream with them. It's fantastic, you know? So, evolve is our job, so let's do it well. Let's be happy. Let's engage. Let's work Let's take the effort. That's the beauty of it. So, your divine presence does not judge others. Oh, the sentences that I'm bringing now are from Debbie Forbes. I don't know if you heard of her. She was a spiritualist. She passed a few years ago. So she says, your divine presence does not judge others, only the ego guided by the fears others to feel protected. However, this sense of protection, ironically, stops us to find personal realization. We need to be prepared to love everything we fear. My resentments hide the light of the world. My resentments hide the light of the world. And this is true. Every time I resent something, I'm not in a place of light. The pathway to the light is, according to her, cooperation and loving service to others. And I also remember, what was his name? The guy that worked with Chico Xavier at the beginning, and then Valdo Vieira, exactly. Valdo Vieira used to say that we come here to serve. And when we get here, what happens? We want to be served, right? So, reaching light demands personal development to find the place where we are in complete command of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Complete command of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Without being moved by other people, but by yourself. Eliminate old resentments and shadows from our personality. Okay, that's another topic that could give another lecture, which is talking about the shadows. And we're going to be talking about that soon. Okay, so I'm not going to mention anything right here, right now. All right. And almost going towards the end, okay, I don't know if you heard of John Van Auken, but he used to work with, I got to think about his name now. He was a great spiritualist here in the U.S. Oh my gosh, and he had like a lot of phenomena and stuff. I can't remember his name now, but he followed his path. If I remember, I'll tell you. So he brings this. For the sun of light may shine in the hearts of many by the turn of the hand of the entity in giving to others the power, the ability to give of themselves. Edgar Cayce, it's there. For only that you give, may you take with you into eternity. So he used to work with Edgar Cayce, okay? So this is in one of Edgar Cayce's reading. So through the giving, through the action of giving, there comes the knowledge of the divine, power being manifest, and those great truths rebound through the life, through the whole being of the entity. You see? Beautiful. In the giving, you possess the power, the strength, the healing of the many spiritual activities that we may do to enhance our nearness to Creator God. Giving is one of the most powerful. In fact, according to Edgar Cayce's reading of the universal wisdom, real power only comes through giving. Okay? So you see how important it is to serve instead of being served. How important it is to be able to work in a charitable place, or to offer your help to a friend or a family, or listen to somebody, or do something where you feel, because for me at least, I have this feeling that when I help somebody, I'm fulfilled. And I think that's the feeling that we should all have, you know, is to help one another instead of fighting with each other, instead of competing with each other. But give. And then to finalize, I brought a story. Okay? An old man says, the world is a teacher for the wise, and for the fool, the enemy. No event is painful in itself and by itself. It is all a matter of perspective. It is important to understand that everything that happens in the world is exactly how it is supposed to be. There are no mistakes or accidents. The world is a heavenly sky and a bottomless abyss. When we understand that we can't have one without the other, it becomes easier to accept the world as is. I look at my past, full of lies and illusions, pain and sorrow, drugs and sex, but I know that without all of these experiences and the darkness that followed me for so long, I would have not been able to teach as I do today. All incidents of my past, the sleepless nights, the tears shed, bring me closer to fulfilling my soul's journey. Nobody says what I say the same way. Nobody does the things that I do the same way. I am I, and you are you. Each of us is unique, and we all have a very special journey. So I found this so touching, because no matter what experience you are going through, no matter what problems you are having, you are unique. And your journey is as important as my journey, as your brother's journey, and everybody else's journey. We should all look at each other as equals, not less, not more, but equals. So gratitude to all for sharing this beautiful experience with me here on Earth. Thank you very much. Have a good night.